Hello friends, Dr. Graves in the new Keto Kitchen. I'm going to be talking about making smoothies and talking about blenders a little bit and how to make ketogenic friendly smoothies, that is. So today, actually this morning, kind of a leisure weekend, I got up and had no idea what ingredients I had kicking around to be able to do this, but I made some bulletproof coffee and then decided because I'm doing a bike ride, I want to have a little bit of fuel. And this new blender, of course, is I'm inspired to create some more smoothies lately. So first off, there's a lot of blenders out there, and you can look online and do some reviews, read reviews, and that you can spend quite a bit down to very inexpensive. And I, over the years, have been using the Ninja products. Probably 2.5 years ago, I got a Ninja, and it's lasted well. It's great, and decided to get another one. Two different locations, so I needed one here in the new Keto Kitchen. So this is one of the accessories I got that I was kind of excited about. It's kind of a single serving 24-ounce stainless steel container cup that allows you to blend right onto it. And being insulated, you can have hot or cold in there for those insulation properties that you get. So so I ordered a couple of them, and what's nice is after you blend, you can put these tops on them, drink right out of that. So this one needs to be washed up before I use it. I've got mine from this morning that I made my bulletproof coffee in it, and it's pretty big. It's nice because you can have as much as you want in there for drinking throughout the day. Now, just a little side note, as I went through learning how to use this new model, they say in the instructions in bold print not to blend hot liquids. The Ninja's not intended to, the containers aren't designed, it says, to do hot. Now, obviously with bulletproof coffee, that's what you usually do. It works better to have it hot to blend the butter, especially. So just demonstrating here, you've got the blade and attaches to the top where I've removed the drinkable top. And just so on that note, what I have learned is that you can blend hot. I usually, make my coffee, or I add hot water to my cold brew, and I put the butter in it and just let it sit with the top opened, and to kind of take that temperature down just a little bit. So I might wait just a few minutes. The other thing is just not overfilling it. And when you're doing hot, I'm probably not going to fill this more than half to 3/4 at the most. And then what's key is after you blend it, is to let it sit another few minutes, or just ever so gently start to release that pressure. Worst case, what happens if you do that slowly is it's going to release a little bit of the pressure that's built up, and you might get a little bit of some dripping out. And once I have had it kind of spray on me, and I had overfilled it. So again, taking no liability about you doing that. They say don't use hot liquids in these, and I imagine most manufacturers say that just to protect from people getting sprayed with hot liquid by opening it too quickly and overfilling it. So anyway, enough on hot. I'm doing cold this morning after the coffee, and I wanted to have a smoothie. And yesterday when I first used this, I experimented with a few recipes and had some things around, but I'm going to kind of walk through what was in the kitchen here, what I had in my freezer and refrigerator, and pairing up, and why I'm using some of these things. And we'll take it step by step. So first off, most smoothies are based on fruit. I have recipes that came with the Ninja, and of course you go through them, and all of them have you adding maple syrup or fruit, and it's obviously not compatible with a ketogenic diet to have a fruit-filled smoothie. However, you can have a little bit, and I'll walk through what I'm going to use in mine. So, number one, what I wanted to do is make sure I got some greens or vegetables in it. you'd be surprised what vegetables you can get in a smoothie and enjoy it and not really notice, a lot of, those flavors that are come from vegetables. So if you want more of a sweeter smoothie, just a very satisfying smoothie, you can still do that without having it being filled with fruit. So my base, I'm going to start with what real foods that I found in the refrigerator. So I've got avocado here, zucchini, and these are actually some frozen huckleberries. So the huckleberries, I'm not going to use a whole lot, just maybe a quarter of a cup. And so again, depending on where you're at with the ketogenic diet, you may be able to tolerate more or less of the fruit. And even zucchini, again, has a little bit of carbohydrate, but it's quite a bit of fiber in there too. So anyway, to begin, what's nice about this Ninja is it came with 3 different sizes here that you can blend directly on the machine. And they all came with their own caps, so you can drink right out of them if you want. I'm going to go ahead and use this middle-sized one. And has an order that they recommend that you fill this up, and it really goes from soft foods up to the top with the ice, if you're going to add ice. So first off, we'll add just some of the vegetables here. And, pardon me while I find a knife. So, and of course with a good blender, you don't have to worry about everything being pre-cut into exceptionally small bits. Now I'm going to make a pretty small serving size here, so we're going to use a little avocado. I don't want to have this be really heavy because I'm going to go ride my bike in a little bit. And I think key to making smoothies is actually doing it fresh. So usually smoothies don't keep very well in the refrigerator for later, but sometimes I do that. Alright, so there's our avocado. We've got our zucchini in there. Now I've never made this recipe again, I just pulled this stuff out of the refrigerator and started to dump into the cup here. So now I'm going to do a quarter cup of these huckleberries. Find my quarter cup. So not a lot. There's a lot of nutrition that's packed into blueberries, and a little goes a long way. And I was watching another YouTube video recently on bulletproof coffee and things that you might add to it, and they said something that I want to mention. It's important to remember. Sometimes we think we need fruit to get all the nutrition that our bodies need, and the truth of it is, when it comes to antioxidants and vitamin C and a lot of the vitamins and minerals that you do find in fruit, you can get from vegetables. Green foods, anything that's green and colorful, just like fruit, and including the flavonoids and antioxidants that's in chocolate and in coffee, you get from those foods. That makes it unnecessary to always get them from fruit. So anyway, we're adding a little bit of blueberries, and had bulletproof coffee this morning already. So the next thing I want to put in is I like to add a nut butter. Now I have a couple examples. I'm not going to put it all in here, but I have almond meal. And you can add nuts and seeds to this and it would blend it all up, but I just happen to I don't have almonds, but I have almond meal. So I'm actually going to probably put in a scoop of that just to blend it up, mix it up. I have peanut butter and cashew butter, and I've had peanut butter the last couple of days, and I'm thinking I'm actually going to do the cashew butter. Now cashew butter is higher in carbohydrates, so I generally don't do a ton of it. So maybe a tablespoon at the most. So a little almond meal, get those essential fats, a little bit of fiber, and maybe cashew butter as well. Since I'm going to ride my bike, a little bit extra carbohydrates will probably be just fine. One thing I also do is look for ways to add more fiber to my diet when I'm on a ketogenic diet, because sometimes we just don't get as much from whole grains and those fruits. So this is actually psyllium husk. And remember, with psyllium and some fiber and seeds, it tends to thicken things up, so you don't want to overdo it with that. And I'll need to add probably just a little bit extra water. So moving along, this next category of things I pulled out is some flavorings, sweeteners, and what do we do about taste? So if you want more sweet, I'd recommend stevia liquid, or you can get the powdered extract. And I don't like a lot of sweet, but since I'm putting those veggies in there, I'm just going to put a few drops of the stevia extract. This is just a little bit of vanilla for good measures. And what I like to do actually is put salt in. So when you're on a low carb diet, your body needs a lot more salt. And many people, and I've gone on and on about this, don't get enough salt. The lower amount of carbohydrates you eat, the more need you have for salt. So an excessively high carb diet, as a lot of people eat, we tend to retain salt. So this is Himalayan sea salt, and I'm just going to put a few measures in there. And you'll be surprised how much better it tastes with a little bit of salt, and you definitely don't need as much sweet when you salt things. And this is true of a lot of recipes and other cooking. Next, I'm going to think about extra fats. Now, we've got avocado in there. We've got some nuts, nut butter. In a smoothie, instead of thinking of a protein smoothie, I look at it being more of a fat smoothie, because again, we're on a low carb diet, and that means moderating that protein. Too much protein, and I'll talk about protein in a second, but too much protein can actually release insulin in the body and take you out of ketosis. So instead, I'm going to add a little bit of these fats. Now, this is fat powder. You could use coconut oil. This is Quest's coconut powder. And also their MCT powder is great. There's a few other brands out there. We have Keto Sport MCT powder at our office, along with the liquid Keto 8. Now, this Keto 8 is the concentrated C8 MCT. That is just a more purified form of the MCT you're going to burn and convert into ketones faster. So put about a tablespoon of that in there. Ketones, talked about ketones and ketone supplementation. I've got the Prove It Keto OS uncaffeinated. This is their chocolate, and I've got the Keto Kana. This is kind of an orange flavor. This obviously is a little bit of a chocolate flavor. I am going to ride today, so I'm going to throw a little bit of ketones in here. Now, I'm trying to decide, actually, if you want more orange flavored, I would go with this one, or open up a packet of this. So I'm going to go with the orange flavor here. And just really quick on how your body utilizes ketones and fats, as I've mentioned and talked about in prior videos, that the different kinds of fats are going to be burned at different rates in the body and used differently. And so when you eat avocado or nuts and seeds or butter, your body's going to utilize that a little bit differently. You're going to digest it more slowly, and some of that's used for other functions in the body. Some of it does get used as energy. When we talk about medium chain triglycerides and coconut oil and the ketones themselves, those are used more quickly and more directly in our mitochondria and our energy pathways. So it's just a matter of how quickly you're going to utilize them. So I like to get, obviously, foods in my diet that are fat friendly, but also those more quick energy fats. And really, when we talk about energy, a lot of the ketones and using MCT, one of the dramatic effects is how quickly you'll feel more mental clarity when you use these in your diet. So the mental factor is really important. Also, butter, you can put that in a smoothie. I really wouldn't be stingy on the fats. I had butter in my coffee this morning, so I'm not going to add that. So we've got some ketones, a little bit of coconut powder, and the C8 MCT. So lastly, on protein, I mentioned that earlier. Now, there is protein in there because I've added those the almonds and the cashew butter. But this hydrolyzed protein I really like, and I'm going to add just a little bit of that. Not much, again, because I don't want to overdo protein intake, especially before exercise. But by putting that protein in there, at least I have some building blocks, and it's about the balance of these nutrients as well. And this is electrolytes. So along with that salt that I already added, this has a little extra calcium, magnesium, and potassium. It's also got a great flavor without a bunch of sugar. This electrolyte synergy is a great product. All right, so I think I've about covered it. The last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of ice and some water. Now you could add some coconut milk if you wanted, or almond milk or something equivalent to that. But again, because I've exhausted all the ingredients that I want in here, I don't want to add more. I don't think I need coconut milk in there. So that's probably pretty good with the water. So add a few ice cubes. Again, with the smoothies, you don't want to overfill these. It's got a max liquid line there, so I'm pretty close to the top. So this Ninja is nice because they have some settings that are all pre-programmed to run through. And so the Ninja blend, this is the Ninja Auto IQ as it's called. So just power this up and you can just pick a few functions or just run it manually and pulse it. So we're going to go ahead and blend it.